1. Trouble prioritizing what's most important. This happens when you're facing an endless list of tasks, a distant and vague goal, or both. You'll often find yourself multitasking, ticking off items on your to-do list as you bounce between different tasks. But when you get to the end of the week and find yourself no closer to your goal, or even worse, you can't even tell if you're closer or further away, you'll start to question the value of it all. Unable to discriminate tasks by importance. The temptation is to just work on whatever's easiest, or just throw up your hands and run off to Netflix or into something else. 2. Emotional procrastination. A lot of our procrastination issues are thinly veiled attempts to avoid discomfort. Theoretically, we know we can get through whatever task is ahead. Anyone who's ever been on a tight deadline and found a way to meet it can attest to that. The issue isn't a lack of capability. It's our emotional triggers driving us away from discomfort. Without the right strategies to manage them, it's often only when the discomfort of not doing something outweighs the benefit of procrastinating on it that we're able to get started. 3. Lack of motivation. If you've left a pile of unfinished projects in your wake, you aren't alone. A lack of motivation can strike when it's time to start focusing, leading to procrastination or keep us from staying focused until the job is done. Remember, our brains are wired to seek rewards in the present moment. That's why it's so easy to scarf down the whole box of chocolates right now. The future is unknown. This bias for the present payoff can make it tricky to stay motivated throughout a project that will take days, weeks, or months. The same goes for the essential, but sometimes boring tasks of planning and practicing your craft. That kind of work won't earn immediate accolades from customers or your boss. A lack of feedback forces us to guess about our own progress, making it that much tougher to stay on target. 4. Too much multitasking. Multitasking is a common byproduct from feeling overwhelmed. It's hard to stay focused long enough to finish one thing when you're worried that your to-do list is turning into the next War and Peace. The temptation is to jump from task to task, working on that spreadsheet while you hop back and forth from phone calls and emails. It's easy to trick ourselves that a whirlwind of activity is the same thing as productivity. All the while, the switching costs loss of efficiency and the time it takes to reorient ourselves whenever we change tasks continue to add up. 5. Time management issues. As Neil says, time management is pain management. The way we schedule our days, if done unintentionally, reflects our tendency to avoid discomfort. Instead of forcing ourselves to tackle that hard but top priority task first thing in the morning when most of us are fresh and alert, we pencil it in sometime after lunch. Then we wonder why it never seems to get done. Another common struggle is estimating just how long things will take. It's easy to try to squeeze in too much and then end up frustrated when we don't meet an unrealistic schedule. Finally, leaving too many gaps of unstructured time robs us of the ability to use goal-driven, top-down selective attention and instead sets us up to respond to whatever stimuli is demanding our attention in those moments. 6. Physical health issues. Our minds and bodies are intimately connected. So it's a shame how often people overlook physical health as a crucial piece of the focus puzzle. A staggering 1 in 3 adults are chronically sleep-deprived, which disrupts communication between brain cells and disrupts cognition. We also have a habit of skipping meals or grabbing light snacks when we should be eating something substantial, which has been proven to impair focus. Most of us aren't drinking enough water either, another focus killer. It's no wonder that our bodies respond in the only way they know how, by sending internal stimuli demanding our attention. 7. Mental health issues. Mental health issues can impair focus just as severely as physical health issues. Anxiety and depression don't just change our thought patterns. They can even rewire our brains. Imagine how much more difficult it would be to knock out that next coding sprint when your stress hormones are pumping because your brain perceives you're under a serious threat of anxiety, or when motivation is impossible because the task feels meaningless. Depression. Mental health issues are overarching and can have a domino effect on everything else discussed in this section. People with ADHD, dyslexia, and other conditions face a whole different set of challenges to navigate. 8. Distraction. Distraction isn't a lack of focus. It's simply allowing yourself to become focused on something other than the task at hand. This is frustrating because it makes projects take much longer than they should. When it happens often, it has the same switching costs as multitasking because your brain is constantly scrambling to reorient itself. Notice how easy it is to find something else to do the second your project gets hard? That's because distractions are little breaks from discomfort. That quick scroll through Instagram is like a pressure release valve from a hectic day. Concerns about distraction didn't start with the internet age either. People have battled distraction by televisions, radios, and even earlier technologies.